Let me tell you something before you can ever hope to free yourself from the grip of toxic people. You must first develop the ability to see them . Because the truth is, most of the time we don't, not at first. Toxic people are not always loud, dramatic, or easy to spot. Sometimes they show up wearing smiles, bearing gifts, calling themselves friends, lovers, even family. They don't walk in waving red flags. No. What they do is slowly distort your sense of self until you're questioning your own worth, your own judgment, your own reality. And if you've ever asked yourself, am I overreacting? Or was it really that bad? More than once around the same person, chances are you've been touched by toxicity. Now, I want to take this deeper, not just surface-level psychology. I want you to think philosophically for a moment. Toxic people are not defined by their flaws because we all have flaws. They are defined by their patterns. Patterns of manipulation, patterns of blame shifting, patterns of taking without giving, draining without restoring. What separates toxic behavior from normal human imperfection is intentionality . The ability to twist truth to protect their ego, even if it destroys yours. These are not people who make mistakes and apologize. These are people who make moves and justify. You must become a student of patterns, not just apologies. And you must learn to identify emotional currency . See, every relationship, whether personal or professional, operates on an emotional economy. And toxic people, they are emotional thieves. They will rob your peace, overdraw your joy, and bankrupt your self-esteem. But they'll do it with charm, with just enough praise to keep you questioning whether it's all in your head. It's not in your head. It's in their behavior, and the sooner you accept that, the quicker you step into your power. Here's something else. Toxic people are often attracted to empathy, not weakness empathy. If you're a person who gives the benefit of the doubt, who tries to see the best in others, who believes in forgiveness, you are their favorite kind of prey. Because your kindness becomes a tool they can use against you. So don't confuse emotional intelligence with emotional availability. You can understand someone's wounds without letting them bleed on you. Once you start recognizing the signs, gaslighting, love bombing, constant criticism masked as help, guilt, tripping, emotional hot and cold, you must act. You can't unsee what you've seen, and here's the hard part. Don't wait for proof that will satisfy everyone else. You don't need a jury to validate your discomfort. Your peace is your evidence. Your unease is your sign. We live in a world where discernment is a survival skill, where the quality of your relationships will either elevate your purpose or suffocate your potential. Toxic people do not need to punch you in the face to hurt you. They just need to cause enough confusion that you start doubting yourself. And once you start doubting yourself, they no longer have to control you. You'll do it for them. That's why the first step is clarity . Not confrontation, not revenge, clarity. Clarity cuts through manipulation like light through fog. It says, I see you clearly, and now that I see, I choose differently. So here's what I'll leave you with. When you recognize who they are, you reclaim who you are. Once you've recognized the presence of toxicity in your life, once your eyes have adjusted to the truth, the next step is not to argue, not to plead, not to negotiate. The next step is to build boundaries and not just any kind of boundaries, but ones that are clear, firm, and non-negotiable. Let me tell you something. If you don't set the standard for how people treat you, they will default to whatever serves them. And toxic people are experts at exploiting undefined spaces. A boundary is not about controlling another person. It's not a wall to shut people out, it's a door with a lock. A system of access, a way of saying, you may come this far, but no further. And the most powerful boundaries you will ever set are not the ones you announce, they're the ones you enforce. People often ask, but what if they don't respect my boundaries? And here's the hard truth. If someone doesn't respect your boundary, they don't respect you, because anyone who truly values you will adjust when you express a limit. The ones who get angry, the ones who guilt trip, the ones who suddenly flip the script and make you the problem, those are the very people your boundary was meant to reveal. See, boundaries don't just protect you, they expose others. They are truth revealers, filters. What remains after you establish a boundary is not rejection, it's clarity. But here's where it gets deep. Setting a boundary is easy. Holding it is where the real battle begins. Because toxic people don't give up ground without a fight. They will test your limits. They will call you selfish. They will act wounded. They may even go silent, hoping that your guilt will do the work for them. This is where emotional maturity must rise in you. Because if you're still waiting for someone to approve of your boundary, you've already lost the battle. Let me say it like this. Your boundary does not require consensus. It requires conviction. It's not a committee vote. It's a personal decision. And I know some of you are thinking, but what if it's someone close to me? Let me speak into that. Proximity does not entitle someone to access. I don't care if it's a parent, a spouse, a friend of 20 years, unhealthy is unhealthy. And the longer you let history excuse harm, the more you teach your nervous system that disrespect is normal. You must stop asking, what will they think if I draw this line? And start asking, what will happen to me if I don't? This is not just psychological, it's spiritual. Because boundaries are not barriers to love. They are containers for love. They allow you to give freely without being depleted. They let you serve without being used. They make room for genuine connection because they weed out people who were only attached to your vulnerability, not your value. And don't just set boundaries after asterisk. Something goes wrong. Set them before asterisk. Let them become part of your identity. Let people know, this is how I operate. This is what I allow. This is who I am. And if they can't accept that, release them with grace. You're not being cruel. You're being clear, and clarity is kindness. So I'll leave you with this. A boundary is not a punishment. It's a declaration of self-respect. Now let's talk about something that may surprise you, because when we think about dealing with toxic people, most of us assume we have to say more. Explain more, argue harder, defend ourselves with every word. But I want to introduce you to a different kind of power. A quieter power, a strategic power, the power of silence. You don't always need a louder voice. You need a stronger presence. And sometimes the most profound shift you can make is not what you say but what you stop saying . Toxic people thrive on reaction. They feed on attention, good or bad, praise or protest, because to them, attention means access. And access gives them room to manipulate, to confuse, to twist things in their favor. But when you respond with silence, not passive aggression, not icy hostility, but calm, grounded silence. You interrupt their game. You take away the fuel. You shift the dynamic without even lifting a finger. Silence, when used with intention, is not avoidance, it's elevation. This is psychological, but it's also spiritual. In ancient wisdom traditions, silence was not weakness, it was wisdom. The ability to hold your peace when chaos surrounds you, that's mastery. That's the kind of self-governance toxic people can't touch. Because what they want most is control. And when you stop reacting, stop defending, stop explaining yourself over and over again, you break their hold without saying a word. Let me be clear, silence is asterisk, not asterisk, the same as suppression. Suppression is when you quiet yourself out of fear. But strategic silence is when you quiet yourself out of strength. It says, I am not going to play in your dysfunction. I'm not here to match your energy. I'm here to protect mine. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to respond to every accusation. And you certainly don't have to prove your worth to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. Some people aren't looking for clarity. They're looking for control. And once you realize that, your silence becomes sacred. Here's something I've learned. Silence reveals intentions. When you stop reacting, watch how they behave. Do they get louder, more manipulative, more aggressive? Or do they pull away because the stage they were performing on has suddenly gone dark? Either way, you get clarity. Either way, you see the truth. Now I know this isn't always easy, especially when your instinct is to speak up for yourself. I'm not telling you to never use your voice. I'm telling you to use it asterisk, wisely asterisk. Don't throw pearls to swine. Don't waste truth on ears that have already decided to twist it. Sometimes silence is the loudest form of truth you can offer. And listen, your silence will be misunderstood. They may call it cold. They may say you've changed. Let them. Let them wrestle with the vacuum your absence creates. You don't need to explain growth to someone committed to your stagnation. What you do need is peace, and silence is often the door that leads to it. So I want you to walk away with this today. When you stop speaking to be heard and start being silent to be free, toxic people lose their grip, and you gain your ground. There comes a moment in every toxic dynamic, a window, a breath, a turning point when you have the chance to speak. Not to argue, not to beg, but to declare and that moment is sacred. That moment is the once this message is built on. The moment when you confront, not out of rage, not out of desperation, but from a place of stillness and final clarity. You don't have to keep repeating yourself. You don't need to deliver an essay on how much they hurt you, how long you stayed, how many times you forgave. You just need to say the truth once and let it echo. That single, calm confrontation is your line in the sand. It's the moment when you stop trying to fix what is designed to fracture you. You stop pretending that if you explain it better, they'll finally understand. Toxic people understand . They just don't care, and what they thrive on is your repetition, the loop. The cycle. They want you spinning, confused, emotionally exhausted, desperate to be heard. Because the longer you keep talking, the longer they stay in control. So you speak your truth, and then you let it rest. When you confront once clearly and calmly, you do something most people never do. You disarm them. See, toxic people expect your outbursts. They anticipate the drama. They're ready for the shouting match because they know how to flip it. But what they are not prepared for is your composure. They don't know what to do when you stand firm without flinching. When you're not asking for anything, not closure, not validation, not even understanding. That's when you reclaim your power. Now let's go deeper. This kind of confrontation is not about punishment. It's about liberation. You're not trying to make them feel guilty. You're declaring that you are done feeling guilty. You're no longer contorting yourself to be palatable. You're no longer negotiating your peace to preserve a connection that costs you your soul. This is not cruelty. This is clarity speaking with a quiet, unwavering voice. And here's the part most people miss. After that one confrontation, your next move must be silence. Not because you're shutting down, but because you're done investing energy where there's no return. You've said what needed to be said. Let the words do their work. Let them sit. Let them convict or let them be ignored. Either way, your job is done. What follows is not your responsibility. You don't have to manage their reaction. You don't have to clean up their emotional mess. You don't have to soften the blow. Because the truth is, if someone is willing to mistreat you, they were never worried about protecting your feelings in the first place. The confrontation is for you, not them. It's your way of honoring your experience, of naming what happened, of reclaiming your narrative. You're not waiting to be chosen anymore. You're choosing yourself, and in doing so, you set something powerful in motion, the beginning of your freedom. Understand this. Your voice is sacred. Don't waste it explaining what was already obvious. Don't dilute it by repeating it to people who made a choice not to listen the first time. Say it once, say it with clarity, then walk forward in silence and in strength. Because here's the truth I need you to carry with you. When you speak your truth once and mean it fully, the echo is loud enough to shake everything that was built on your silence. One of the hardest things you will ever do in life is remove access from someone you still care about. Let me say that again. Not someone you hate, not someone who never meant anything to you, but someone who once meant everything . That's where the test lies, because toxic people often disguise themselves in emotional history. They hide inside memories. They hide inside your empathy. They hide behind shared experiences and the illusion of potential. But here's what you must understand. Just because someone was part of your past does not mean they have earned a place in your future. Sentiment cannot be the leash that keeps you tied to dysfunction. Your emotional attachment to who they must not override your awareness of who they are now. At some point, you have to ask yourself a deeper question. Not, do I love them? But, does this connection honor my peace? Because love is not supposed to hurt like that. Loyalty is not supposed to leave you drained, and relationship of any kind is not supposed to feel like survival. You see, toxic people don't always leave on their own. Most of the time, they stay as long as the door is open. They'll keep walking in and out of your life, rearranging your confidence and leaving your spirit scattered until you make a decision. And that decision isn't about being cruel, it's about being clear . You don't have to be angry to be done. You don't have to be bitter to walk away. You just have to be finished . You have to get to a place where your peace is more valuable than their presence. Now, when you finally choose to remove access, whether that means blocking a number, creating distance, or cutting the emotional ties, you will feel something rise up in you. Guilt, doubt, maybe even grief, because endings always come with echoes, and toxic people know that. That's why they count on your guilt. They count on you to second, guess yourself. But guilt is not always a sign that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just a residue of old conditioning of years spent putting others before yourself. Let me free you today. You do asterisk, not asterisk, owe continued access to someone who repeatedly chooses to disrespect your boundaries, minimize your pain, or manipulate your grace. You can love someone and still leave the door closed. You can forgive someone and still not let them back in. Forgiveness is an act of healing, but access is a matter of asterisk wisdom asterisk. You don't have to explain your exit to people who made staying unbearable. This is where emotional maturity shows up in your life. This is where spiritual discernment grows, because it takes strength to walk away when everything in you wants to hold on. But you will never become who you were created to be by staying in places that suffocate your soul. When you remove access, what you're really doing is reclaiming authority over your own life. You're saying, I get to decide who has the privilege of proximity to me. And yes, it asterisk is asterisk a privilege. Because you are not an emotional dumping ground. You are not a perpetual forgiver. You are not a rehabilitation center for broken people who refuse to heal. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of safety. You are worthy of reciprocity. And the moment you decide to stop entertaining what wounds you, you begin to attract what restores you. So let me leave you with this. Asterisk asterisk, you don't need their permission to protect your peace, only your decision. Asterisk asterisk. Now let me speak to the final piece, and it might be the most important of all, because after you've recognized toxicity, after you've set your boundaries, after you've gone silent, confronted once, and removed access, there's still one more thing you've got to do, and it's not about them. It's about asterisk you asterisk. You must asterisk become asterisk the kind of person who toxic people can no longer manipulate, control, or even asterisk recognize asterisk. Hear me, true transformation doesn't end with walking away from others. It ends with walking fully into yourself. Because if you don't change internally, you'll keep attracting externally what you claim you're done with. The old pattern will find a new face. The same storm will show up in a different disguise. So the work now is not about resisting toxicity. It's about asterisk elevating asterisk yourself, worth to the point where it can no longer survive in your atmosphere. See, toxic people are drawn to your asterisk access asterisk. Yes, but they also feed off your asterisk wounds asterisk, the parts of you that are still looking for validation. The unhealed child in you that still feels the need to prove your worth, earn your love, chase acceptance. And until you confront those open doors inside yourself, the same dysfunction will keep slipping through the cracks. You have to outgrow the version of you that settled for crumbs, the version that confused loyalty with suffering, the version that believed being needed was the same as being valued. This is where the real power begins to rise. Because when you do the inner work, when you start healing the root instead of trimming the branches, you no longer just asterisk avoid asterisk toxic people. You become asterisk immune asterisk to them. You start radiating a different energy, a kind of peace, confidence, and clarity that repels confusion. They'll try to bait you, and it won't work. They'll try to guilt trip you, and it won't land. They'll try to play the same games and find you've left the playground altogether. And don't be surprised when people say you've changed. That's the point. Don't shrink back. Don't apologize for evolving. Don't explain your growth to those committed to misunderstanding it. Because when you shift internally, your external reality asterisk has asterisk to respond. New standards, new circles, new peace. Now I need you to understand something deeper here. This transformation is not just about mental boundaries or emotional distance. This is spiritual elevation. You are stepping into a higher frequency, and everything that doesn't resonate with your healing will begin to fall away. That's not rejection, that's alignment. But you must be consistent, because the moment you stop growing is the moment old patterns start knocking again. So stay in the work. Keep investing in your wholeness. Build your values so strong that anything not rooted in truth can't take root in your life. Choose relationships that mirror your maturity, not your wounds. And here's the beauty of it all. When you become this version of yourself, you won't have to force people to leave. They'll feel the shift. They'll know the game is over. What used to work doesn't work anymore. What used to hook you emotionally no longer touches you. And that's not arrogance, that's healing. So I'll leave you with this. The greatest revenge against toxicity is not bitterness. It's becoming so whole, so grounded, and so self-aware that no toxic person can survive in your presence.